Hi guys, welcome to my channel. And as I told you, I was going to show you how to do this whole cardigan, and I'm going to post this video on my YouTube. So if you are interested with more of my videos, please subscribe and follow me. You can follow me and you can pin them if you want to, so you can pin them and at least make a reference on them, because I'm gonna put the buttons for Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest on my below my YouTube videos. And some of the links, I'm gonna go ahead and link them on how to do some of the stitches right here, the one that I used over here, and the patterns that are how I do this pattern. So I'm going to show you, or I'm going to put the links down there so you guys can follow them and then go ahead and do it. As I said before, since I'm going to show you the whole tutorial of the whole cardigan, I made a video for making this part of the collar, and I did a video on how to make this. This one, I guess I'm going to show it to you again with this cardigan. I'm not sure whether I showed it to you, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this part with the cardigan so you guys can see how I did it, how I do it. And now I'm going to show you how to do the armhole area. As you can see, this cardigan, it started as a started as a scarf. Then I skipped from either side of the scarf I skipped 15 stitches. Then I did in between the middle part of it. That's going to be the back of the cardigan. So as you can see, that's how it looks like. So it started as a scarf, but now I skipped 15 stitches right here. I skipped 15 stitches, and then I just did in the middle part, and this side I skipped 15 stitches. So now what we're gonna do, I'm going to make the lapel. I guess that's the part I can call the lapel, though it's not gonna be exactly the lapel, but that's how I'm going to call it. And for references purposes, I'm gonna call this kind of like a salvage area, because I don't have any specific name to call it. So what's gonna happen right now, I'm going to fold the part of the scarf in some landmarks. The landmarks that I made for this cardigan is like, I made this on this slip stitch right here, and there is a slip stitch right here. So I'm going to fold it right here on the white part, but if you need longer collars, you can go ahead and fold it right here. So we'll fold it up here. That will be my landmark. So that will avoid or maybe prevent me from doing a lot of counting. So it came handy, and it will make my collar looks kind of like well thought while making it. So, and this is how I'm going to fold it. As you can see, it creates a very nice pattern in between the collars. So that's how it's gonna be. Okay, so this is gonna be the arm, and I'm going to make the armhole right here. And for me to connect this side to this side, I'm going to chain from here to here about between 7 stitches, so I can connect it to here. And I did this, I chained a couple of stitches before. I chained like 15. It was really big. So if you're chaining 15 stitches, I think that will fit medium to large. But if I do 7, it's gonna fit small or extra small. So that's what I'm gonna do on both sides, chain here. But before I do the after I do the chaining, I'm going to do the slip stitch. And either way, I'm going to do the slip stitch on the other side, chain, slip stitch, and chain, slip stitch, and then go back, do slip stitch all around twice. And then after that, I'll show you what to do next. So before I get started with the crocheting, I'm gonna show you the needles as usual. The one I'm going to use, 5.5 and 4.0. I usually use 4.0 to pick up the stitches after the slip stitch, or when I'm working on the salvage areas. The salvage areas, I mean these areas. Sometimes they're hard to pick up stitches with a bigger needle. So this needle comes handy, the smaller size needle. And as I told you, I didn't show you the yarns that I'm using. I'm using Red Hat Super Saver, and this color is Orchid, and I'm using this one. I don't have a tag to it, but if I happen to come across it, I'll show you what exact color it is. But it's super Red Hat Super Saver too, and this one too. But I also don't have, these are the yarns that I was using before, then they were left over, so that's why I'm using them over. So credit to Red Hat Super Savers. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and on my first row to start on the back, I'm gonna start using white. And I'm going to make sure this side, the wrong side, is the one facing me. It's facing me. The reason why we're going to work on that side. So now what I'm gonna do, because since my collar is going to end here and my lapel is gonna start here, I'll make sure this side also faces me. So that's how I'm gonna work it. All right, so now since I'm starting over here, I'll make sure I pick up all the stitches right here, starting from where I slip stitched here, the landmark right here. So right here. I make sure I pick up all the stitches, as you can see. So when I'm going to crochet, I may not even be speaking a lot. I may just be showing you what I'm doing. But if it's necessary, or I think that you really need to know what I'm doing, I will be explaining. Otherwise, I won't be talking that much. So just to let you know that I may be crocheting without talking, so that's okay. But when you crochet, make sure you don't make your slip stitch all the way to the bottom. Make it just as close as to the top as possible. Leave about a 1/4 inch, or maybe 3/8 of an inch, just however comfortable you will be, because I don't want us to leave too big of a space, because when we're gonna crochet at the top here, we don't want a lot of color showing in between. So that's why I'm making it all the way to the top. And one problem that we may encounter by doing this the number of stitches on this side, like on the lapel areas or the selvage areas, they are not going to match on both sides. So if they don't match, please don't worry about it. Just go ahead and do the when you're stitching in the after the slip stitch, when you're stitching the number of stitches up here, I'll show you when. Don't worry about it. You will increase them or decrease them in the next row depending on your size. Okay, so don't worry about it. So anyway, so let's get going now. And another thing I would like to point out too, at the back, they will look so ugly. Don't worry about it. They may look so ugly at the front too. Don't worry about it. When we do the second row and the third row, they will be well aligned and they'll be fine. So don't worry about it, the look of them right now. So just to mention, okay, so this is all slip stitch all the way to the other side. So but when we're going to do the armhole, we're going to chain, as I'm going to do in a few seconds. So let's see. Slip stitch here and then chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess this should be about enough for the armhole. Okay, don't worry about these threads coming out. So we're going to fix them when the cardigan is done. but if they bother you, you can go ahead and thread them in right now, but otherwise don't worry about them. All right, so here I slip stitch that one, then I will again try to double slip stitch somewhere so it's nice and well secured. All right, okay, now the next is this is the back area too. As you can see, it's the back area. You slip stitch all the way and then you chain 7 again and then slip stitch to the end of row. So let me do this. See, right here, as I am slip stitching, I'm doing it right here. On this space right here, right here. Another thing you need to pay attention to when you're doing the slip stitch, don't do them too tight, because if you do them too tight, it's going to be hard. Because when we're going to do the back side, we're going to do these stitches right here. You see the free stitches right here, so it will pull on this. So if you do them too tight over here, this one is also going to be too tight, because this, once we do this one, it pulls on the other one. So we are trying to avoid our work to be kind of wrinkled. Alright, so as you can see, I chained the other arm. I chained 7, the same as the other one. Now I'm going to slip stitch all the way to the white slip stitch area. pick up all the stitches, okay? Don't leave any. So, and then here we're going to chain. Actually, we need to get one more so it doesn't pull on this so hard. Okay, chain one, then turn around. Okay, now on this side it's going to be hectic and cumbersome, but just be patient. It's gonna take a lot of time. So here you have to make sure you look the stitches that look like basting stitch, they look like basting stitches at the back. So pick each and every one of them, don't skip any. So every one of them. So let's do one by one, and if they're hard to pick up, please, you can use the smaller needle to pull it up a little bit, and then you crochet them with the other this needle. Like, let me show you how you can do it if they are too tight. However, mine are not tight enough right now, but if they are tight, all you need to do is do that with a smaller needle. Just pick up that stitch like that, and then proceed with this one. So it helps to pull out the one that are too tight, just in case you made yours a little bit tight, but I recommend, you know, to make them tight. So you do this all the way to the end, including the chain stitch. Alright, so as you can see, we're going just to do the same repetition all the way to the end. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I see you back when I'm doing the next round. Okay, all right, I'm on the other end now. Once you turn, you chain one, then you do, I don't know whether you can see, let me use this smaller needle so I make sure you can see. You see on your slip stitches, like the one you've slip stitched, do this. You go back, you turn around, you start from this corner, you chain one, you start from this corner because you need to pull out this one so it can be well aligned. See, so you right here, you go ahead, let me do this. See right there, slip stitch that, and then as you turn around, you proceed with the other one. You slip stitch here. Let me show you. Right, see right here? No, right here. Right here for the first one. All of them you have to slip stitch here. In between these two stitches, in between these two, all the way. So let's do it and see how it turns out. And don't skip any stitch at all. Make sure you slip stitch every one of them, every single one of them. See right there? You pick up both two stitches like these two, the two loops, you pick them up right here. I think you see. Right there. See how it turns out. So as you can see, it's gonna be looking better and very neat right here. And here at the back we will do the same here, right here. Okay, we will slip stitch both of them. Don't worry about this, I'll show you what to do with this later. So do this all the way. Let me do it all the way to the chain, and then I'll tell you what to do next. Here. Select this. Pick up the two. Remember, don't make them too tight, because you make them too tight, slip stitch tends to shrink stuff down. So don't make them too tight, because you make them too tight, your work is gonna shrink. So you want to maintain the same tension. So, and don't pull your slip stitch tight, just leave them a little bit loose. Alright, so once you get up there, never mind these ones, we'll fix them. See? Alright, so do this all the way to the end and do it again on the other side, and I will meet you once you do both sides slip stitch. Okay. Alright guys, I'm on the other side of the row, so I'm done with it. And I would like just to mention, if you like your cardigan to have like a very thin line of this slip stitch, you can do only 2 rows of slip stitch and that's it. But mine, I want it a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna do the 3rd row. So for those who would like to do the 3rd row, for those who would like to do the 3rd row, let me show you what you're gonna do. Once, as usual, once you get to this corner, just chain it to avoid pulling it too tight, and go ahead, see right here, slip stitch right there, and then the next one, this is how you're gonna slip stitch for this one. Slip stitch all the way to the back of this. Doesn't look well, but slip stitch all the way to the back. See right there. I don't know, I'm gonna try to show you the right way. Okay, let me put this. If you can do this, you see, like right here, there is stitches in between here, so all you need to do is just pass your needle all the way to this area, like here to the back, and slip stitch all the way. Alright, so that's how you're gonna slip stitch, so you can get it a little bit thicker. And let me show you. I'm gonna show you a couple of stitches and then you'll see how it goes. See, all the way here, you slip stitch right there, all the way to the back, all the way. Don't skip any stitches. See, there is in between here, like if you lift it up a little bit, you will see, like, you know, there are 2 areas, like from here and here. Just slip stitch in between these 2 stitches right there. So on the top it's gonna look like here. See right there, here, right there, right here, right here, all the way. So that's what you're gonna do, like all the way. So you do this on this row and on the other side of the row, and then when you come back, I will show you next what to do. Okay, so it's not that hard, so easy, and leaves your work very nice and very elegant. So the only thing is sometimes you gotta be patient just doing it, especially on the first row, but the other rows are not kind of hard, they are easy to do. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more so I can show you how it looks. See how it looks right there? See, so that's how it's gonna look, and it's really thick enough. See, and this side, do it on this side too. Okay, so when you come back, we're gonna be working on this and I'll show you how to do that. So work it all the way to the end, and on this side, on the back side. Then when you come back, I'll show you what to do next. I thought I should point out this to you guys. As I told you on the third row for this slip stitch, I forgot to show you how to do it on the underarm. Don't do it the same way you're doing it for the other side, the way I showed you. So on the underarm, do this, like on the armhole, do this. Don't, let me show you. Don't do it the way I showed you on the other side, only for the armhole. Let me show you how to do it on the armhole. Okay, the other side I showed you, like you have to crochet all the way to the other back, like that. Okay, on the armhole, do it a little bit differently, because you don't want to make this roll over. We're going to make it roll when we do the arm. So do this. Just go ahead and open it up, like open the stitches up like that. See, just do it at the top right here, the way we were doing it before. So on the arm only, on the armhole only, just do it that way. We're going to roll it later, because it rolls by itself anyway, so don't mind about it. So you see, just go ahead and do it at the top of the 2 stitches.